My husband's home. You gotta get out of here.
Hi, welcome to Interrogation. Comedians tell their own true crime stories, then we get to ask them questions about it after. The audience at this show can even text in their own crimes anonymously, and we read those live on stage.
What the hell?
I gotta go.
Say, you guys ready to see your next criminal? Come on. Give it up for Dr. Kev Fitzgerald, everybody.
Well, nobody's ever shit on me. Fucking young people. Shit, I thought we partied in the 60s. What's the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea? Donald Trump's never had a garbanzo bean on his face. What, that bums you out? That guy got shit on and you're mad at me? Jesus. Well, I'm old. And you're young. The only time I don't have to pee is when I'm peeing. Last summer I couldn't pee at all. Went to the doctor, I go, I can't pee. He goes, how old are you? I go, I'm 72. He goes, you've peed enough. My girlfriend said, would you like to come upstairs and make love to me? I said, I'd like to, but I can't do both. I went to the doctor and told him my penis is burning. That means somebody's thinking about it. I've been in jail twice. I'm going to tell you both of them. I'm a veterinarian. We're supposed to, it's illegal in Colorado you can't own an ocelot or a lion, a tiger. You can't have a big cat, all right? You can't have a leopard, a panther. You can't have, so as a veterinarian, I'm supposed to seize it and destroy it, but it varies state to state. So some states, like in Louisiana, everything's legal, right? I mean, they got drive-through daiquiri stands, you know? My God-given right to have a drive-through daiquiri stand. So I get to work early. I'm a veterinarian, and this guy showed up 6:30 in the morning with an ocelot, big cat from South America, you know, and the thing's vicious. You know, it's got a big mask on like Hannibal Lecter, and it's trying to kill me, you know. And I asked the guy, what the hell? I'm supposed to seize this and destroy it. He goes, our friend Louisiana got all the right permits, licenses. Oh, man. I go, where do you live? He goes, I live on the 11th floor of this apartment building. You know, with an ocelot. What could go wrong here, you know? So I go, well, what's wrong with him? He goes, he can't keep anything down. So, oh, Jesus. So I put him up on the table. We wrapped him up in a tarp like a burrito, right? So he didn't kill us. And so and we're all laid on him, and I reach in under, and I feel something in his belly. So I rolled in the ultrasound, and it was a ball. It was one of those bouncy super balls when we were little, those black ones, you know. So I took him to surgery. It was stuck in his intestine, got it out, and I seized the thing and gave it to my classmate at the Denver Zoo, right? It seemed like a better thing than killing it, right? This is a little male with his testicles, and a little female there. I thought if any babies are born, I called up United Airlines and Animal Planet and said, if any babies are born, we can fly them back to South America where they belong, right? Seemed like a good deal. They said, yeah, sure, that's good PR. So I seized the thing, tell the guy, look, you live in an apartment building with a goddamn ocelot, you know. Next thing you know, you'll be shit on. The hell is wrong with people? God damn it. So everything's good, right? The thing's seized. It's at the zoo. It's safe. The next day, there was a animal control officer, a dog catcher, saw the thing come in, realized that it wasn't going to destroy it, went to DIA, got a federally endangered exotic animal agent and 4 cops. They came the next day. They go, you got to tell us where that guy is and where that animal is. I go, I'm from the 60s and I don't rat on people. Right? And I go, plus I got confidentiality like my priest. I can't rat on my flock, right? I'm an Irish Catholic. I can't rat on, buddy. So he goes, you don't have confidentiality. He goes, the clergy does, lawyers do, doctors do. Your tax accountant can't tell anybody about your taxes, but you, my friend, have 3 felonies. Interfering with a federal investigation, 3 to 5 years, $50,000 fine. Housing a federally endangered animal, 3 to 5 years, $50,000 fine. Surgery on a federally endangered animal, 3 to 5 years, $50,000 fine. And you can't practice with a felony if they take your license away. So I said, I got confidentiality like a priest. They took me right to jail. Jail is interesting. I'd seen a lot of prison movies, so I knew you had to make friends with a big guy. So I'm sitting next to this big guy, and they take you in, and they take all your clothes and put a jumpsuit. They give you these overalls, right? And the guy in front of me, they took his suit away. He was a 3-piece suit, and he had a bra and panties on. So I knew I wanted to room with him. Jailhouse blowjobs. What's the worst? What are the 4 words? What are the 4 words you don't want to hear when you're blowing Bradley Cooper? I'm not Bradley Cooper. Gee, sorry to tell you that. Sorry about the garbanzo joke. You guys are grossed out by that, but you love it when people shit on people. So anyway, I go to jail. I'm sitting next to this big guy, and I say, what are you in for? And he goes, what are you in for? And I said, I said, I asked you first. And he goes, I robbed the 7-Eleven by Mile High Stadium. What are you in for? I said, I did surgery on an ocelot. He goes, what the hell's an ocelot? He was out before I was. We went to a jury trial, and I walked in, and the judge goes, hey, come here, approach the bench. I had to get a lawyer, and pay. It was expensive. So I go in my lawyer, and the judge goes, come here, approach the bench. He goes, I think you came to my kid's science fair. I've been the judge for science fairs for a long time. And he goes, come on in my chambers. And he goes, well, this is wrong. He goes, Bruce, what is this? And he told him what happened. He goes, oh, Jesus. He goes, I'm going to give you a deferred sentence. And my lawyer said, you can't have a deferred sentence. That's an admission of guilt. He'll lose his license because he'll have felonies, And so he goes, oh, okay. He was making up. He goes, I'm going to give you a federal diversion. You have to teach inner city high school classes for 2 weeks for science classes. That'd be good. And then you have to do citizenship classes down in the basement of the Capitol building with a bunch of people, right? And become a good citizen. Learn about George Washington. And you have to do 8 hours of federally mandated psychiatric evaluation to see if you can understand laws. So I did it all and went back, and he goes, I went back and told the judge, I've done everything you said. And he goes, now listen, you bent the law, and that's not, you did a nicer thing, but that's not your call. He goes, how long have you been in practice? And I said, 42 years. And he goes, it doesn't matter, because you're never going to see another ocelot. Since that's happened, I've seen 3 other ocelots. Because you can't kill them, right? You can't kill them. You just try and help them get them someplace, All right, one more quick story, and then, and that's not the real story. My real story is, I used to bounce for bands, work for bands. I was doing the security for the World Jamaica Music Festival in Montego Bay, Jamaica, and it was a peninsula. And I had my bouncers, and we had to keep people away that didn't have tickets, And it was this big peninsula. In one end, we had the gates, but the water was shallow, and the kids could maybe swim in, or walk in. It was just this deep. So I was with my brother, and I go, I know. He goes, how are we going to keep the kids out once the light go out? I said, I know. So we went down to the market, we bought 2 dead horses. We took chainsaws and gutted them up and put them in the boat and went out and chummed the water. and we were calling these sharks, man. They were fucking flipping, and they had flippers and gills and mouths, and they're eating this stuff, and the kids are like this on the shore. And nobody got in. But the Jamaican police were horrified. So they put me in jail in Jamaica. For 5 days, and you're nude, and it's just one big room. And it was a fucking bloodbath, man. You had to like thump some heads and get some respect right away, you know. So, but it was a great move. Nobody sneaked in. And now it's a good story. And so, all right, well, where are my friends? That's enough, isn't it?
Dr. Kev, everyone. Buddy, there's a lot of questions here. I just love that you just glanced past. We just bought 2 dead horses. What do you mean? Where do you buy dead horses?
In different countries, they eat horse meat.
Oh, that's
right?
true. Yeah.
So I mean, we're spoiled, right? I mean, a lot of France, they eat horses. I mean, a lot of places. You know, the fucking French though, they eat they eat frogs and snails and
Listen, I'm just gonna go ahead and say when I asked you that question, I wasn't expecting a tirade about the French. Like,
yeah, French are French, most hated of races. They fight with their feet and fuck with their faces. That's all right.
Oh my God.
Dr. Kev, I don't know if I can look at you the same way anymore. What? That man's sick. Oh my God.
So wait a minute. When did you chopped up a horse?
2 horses.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, is you're acting like they're selling horse meat at the supermarket, but you chainsawed the horses, right?
We bought a chainsaw. And then,
Well, yeah, because we just didn't have one
and then
laying around.
We rented this boat, and we would be paid more if nobody sneaked into the concert.
Of course, yeah.
Man, it was a great concert we had.
Yeah.
3 nights long in Montego Bay, Here's the best part of this show. Here's the best part. It was 12 American acts, Grateful Dead and Gladys Knight and Beach Boys and all these American acts. But we wanted to have a Jamaican close the show, right? And Yellow Man was the biggest thing. Albino guy, he had this nobody move, nobody gets hurt, It was bullshit. It wasn't good music. But Peter Tosh had never been in Jamaica for a while. He hadn't been there for a while. So he was playing, and we thought that Tosh for sure, because I used to work for the Stones and Tosh would always open. Anyway, so fucking Tosh, man. So we had this meeting to see who's going to close the show. And Yellow Man's like, of course I close the show. I had the biggest song in Jamaica, and Tosh wasn't there. And all of a sudden, the doors opened, and Tosh came in with all these dreads, and they had Uzis and machetes, and they put a Uzi to Yellow Man's head, and he goes, "How you close the show, you dead?" So of course he closed the show.
I like that. That was your attempt at a Jamaican accent. Like you did. Like you did change your tone.
Yeah.
I got one way to talk.
Yeah. I have never met someone that I am so confident would be a successful cult leader in my life.
So calming.
Immediately, I'm like, I'll fucking kill a horse for you.
Did anybody happen to bring a Shel Silverstein book so we can all take a nap afterwards?
What happened to the ocelot babies? But what happened to them?
The ocelot went to the Denver Zoo.
Uh-huh.
And then they bred him. He ended up down at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, where he died of natural causes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the big thing, yeah.
Lived a good life, that ocelot, if anybody was wondering.
I mean, the problem is the number of illegal exotics out there is ridiculous, and what people have. And the problem is with animals is every few years it goes into a different fad, right? And remember it was pot-bellied pigs about 30 years ago, and then it was sugar gliders, you know, and then pygmy hedgehogs. And then after a while, people lose interest and nobody wants them, and they all end up in shelters and stuff. And so, animals aren't fads. They're not a fad buy. It's another life that we need to take care of.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So during COVID, I was doing like a late night TV show, kind of like Daily Show kind of thing. And I had Kev on the show one time because I thought it'd be fun to do like one of those classic like late night TV show, like, oh, they bring a zookeeper on, they bring animals. And I knew that Kev was a vet. And I just said, hey man, I come over to your house. It'd be cool to bring some animals. He said, what kind of animals do you want? And I was like, I don't know what you can get your hands on. He said, oh, buddy, I can get you any animal you want.
What animal did he bring? What did you bring?
It was a couple salamanders, I think, and what was it? I don't remember.
A chihuahua.
The Chihuahua, yeah. Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I don't remember off the top of my head, actually.
might.
It wasn't anything like crazy, but it was a couple fun salamanders, and we dropped one on the floor, and he was like, "Oh, they're slippery bastards." And
I love your impersonation of Dr. Kev.
I've got lots of stories about Dr. Kev. Anyway, any questions for Kev? Any questions? What's up? The other 3 ocelots that he saw after.
Well, I'm supposed to seize them, so I did, you know, and got them to a safer place because they're knuckleheads. You know, the people that have them are you know, it's just like the guy had it in the back of his convertible and, you know, is driving around and he goes, I'd like to have all his teeth and toes, his nails removed so he can't bite people. Well, come on. You know,
Wait a minute. You mean people are driving around with ocelots in the back of their truck like it's a husky?
You seize them, but you see, people are against zoos, but it's wrong because more children visit the Denver Zoo every year than adults go to the Rockies, Avalanche, Nuggets, and Broncos combined. Put 2.3 million kids in there. And there might be impoverished inner city kids, you know, and they see something and their little mind gets turned on, and it's good, you know. And so all the animals at the Denver Zoo were born in captivity. So if you let them go, they couldn't do it anyway. So I think, you know, they're ambassadors for that breed, and the keepers that keep them do a good job. So I got the other 3 seized and put them in different exhibits, and you know, that's better than living in the back of somebody's car.
Woo!
You know?
Crikey. All right. Any other questions for Kev? What's up?
I'd worked for the Rolling Stones, and Keith Richards, I took care of his house.
So that's the answer?
And so...
What?
he had a house in Montego Bay. He had a house in Ocho Rios, and he had a really good friend that was in the Jamaican government, and then another friend, Freddie Sessler, that was a great guy, and so they got me out.
Kevin, I'm not a journalist, but I think that's called burying the lead. I think. Oh, that's amazing. But you said they didn't like it, so they clearly saw what you were doing and then just didn't do anything about it? Like when you chopped up the horse
well,
and then threw it into the ocean.
What happened was, you know, I didn't want to be in a third world country without guns, you know, and so we
Same thought we all had. Same thought everybody here had.
So we're putting this show on, and my bouncers, you know, and
Did
so
you shoot the horse to pieces?
No.
Okay, sorry.
No. How dare you, Corey? That's
I'm
a dumb.
Sorry. Sorry.
I've been to Nicaragua when Jagger was married to a woman in Bianca, and so we did a show there, and we didn't have guns, and it was ugly. So I wanted to have guns with my, you know, so we floated down shotguns in the stage, you know, in the struts of the stage. So my bouncers would have shotguns at the gates, you know, because the Jamaican police don't carry guns. So I didn't want any bullshit, you know.
You floated them down?
So we borrowed the stage there's different stages. The Rolling Stones have a stage, and who did?
You just floated him like a baby in a basket, just
No,
like
we just
down the
took it
river?
out. No, we just floated the stages down from
Oh,
Miami.
the stages. Okay.
And then use those stages. I mean, there's different touring stages. When the Stones play, there's 2 stages. One goes steady ahead. The Who did the same thing. So we'd have these stages, and you can float. You can put contraband in the stage. Float 'em down.
Word to the wise.
Yeah, nobody is allowed to arrest you ever, okay? You are the coolest person of all time. Yeah.
Well, not only can they not arrest him because he's the coolest guy, I think he can actually get away with it.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's capable. We got one more question because I know we had 2 up here. What's up?
Is dropping off the horse how you knew you wanted to be a vet?
Wow. Rude, sir. Rude. Okay.
I put myself into through vet school bouncing for bands, you know. So I was in vet school at the time, and I knew how to dissect a horse pretty quick.
You're like, this guy's really good. Why did he bring a chainsaw to the first day of class? All right, let's get to a couple text messages really quick, and we'll let Kev get out of here. This was too appropriate. I knew a zookeeper who got arrested for smuggling baby reptiles out of the zoo and selling them. Any tie to you?
Oh, the number of illegal exotics that you know. They're selling like Gila monsters, right? The Gilis. It's a wonderful animal. It's the only poisonous lizard, and so there's more. The collectors are pulling them so fast and selling them. There won't be any left in nature. And then, you know, it's sad because there's 10 million other forms of life on the planet besides us, and they're all worthy. You know, there's charismatic animals, polar bears and you know, whales and stuff.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
But there's
Hold on.
a lot of animals that are in trouble that we need to take care of. You know.
Yeah. I've just never heard of a polar bear referred to as having charisma. That's all.
Yeah. That's why he's the logo for Coca-Cola, you know?
For sure. All right, guys, keep it going for Dr. Kev. I feel like we all learned a lot tonight. Here, just throw it right here, buddy. There you go. Thanks, Kev. Literally one of the most badass people you'll ever meet. He didn't say this, but he was a bouncer for the Rolling Stones for a long time. And at the time, he and Steve Irwin were the only 2 people in the world that had TV shows that were like about animals, right? So it was like Steve Irwin on one channel and Dr. Kev on another channel.
He's so fucking cool, dude.
I can get you any animal you want, man.